Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Welcome to the show, Thursday edition of Dave Allen Show here on 580 Live. Biggly Piggly Wiggly Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-500. We do the show from the Jarrett Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit Jarrett-construction.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly Spring Street. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Tailor on Virginia Street. Tony has got an end-of-the-month sale going on now through Saturday, making room for new summertime items, up to 75% off select suits, jackets, sportswear, and footwear. Details available. Tony the Tailor on Facebook at BestMasterTailor.com. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, this Saturday is Drug Take Back Day in the state of West Virginia. We're going to talk to some folks from the Charleston Police Department about that. Also, big happening Saturday evening over at Capitol Market. Our buddy Evan Osborn will stop by the show to give us all the details on what's going on there. And as always, your phone calls and texts are welcome too. Biggly Piggly Wiggly Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. We're going to start this morning, though. If you've been listening to the Metro News Midday Show we do with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and myself, powered by Salango Law, during the month of April, we've been telling you the stories of people whose lives were literally saved by organ transplants. We told you last week the story of a lady by the name of Vicky Keene, lady from right here in Charleston, who was a recipient of a double lung transplant. And I'll be honest with you, I was so inspired by her that I invited her to be on the local show, and she joins us this morning in the Jarrett Construction Studios. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I loved your story last week. We told your story statewide last week, and I told you as you were leaving, I said, we need to have you back on the local show to tell the story, because you are from right here in Charleston. For those, you're pretty well known in the community.
Yes.
Talk before we talk about the transplant story. Talk about Vicky. Tell us about you.
Before I received my transplant, I worked for West Virginia Junior College in high school admissions, and then I got really, really sick. And I ended up having to have a double lung transplant. I was sick for like 10 years, and it took me 10 years to get my lungs, because you have to be at a certain stage in your illness to be able to have a lung transplant.
And as you told us the story last week, you started. Tell us about the onset of the illness. How did you know that something's not right here? Or were you diagnosed by your doctor, or how did you first find out?
Well, I was diagnosed by my doctor, but I did notice a lot of changes. I was an advocate walker, walking 5 to 6 miles a day, and all at once, I would start swelling when I walked. So when I went to the doctor to see what was going on, my oxygen levels were really low, and so they sent me through all kinds of tests. And they told me that I needed a new pair of lungs.
Talk about that feeling when you got that diagnosis.
Jesus. Well, you know what? As time went on, the diagnosis, I always feel that everything happens for a reason. And maybe my reason was to be able to talk to minorities about transplants, because I'm really an advocate for it, because there's not enough African Americans or minorities that are organ donors.
What are the numbers as far as
18% African Americans. The rest of the minorities are made up of other minorities.
And why do you think that is?
I think it's from the old myths about organ donation. I know growing up, I could remember my grandparents talking about things like that, and how it wasn't right, and it shouldn't be done because they mutilate the body of the donor. That is so false. They take better care of the body, my donor, than me.
Right.
Because they have to give that donor and the donor family the emotional support.
Right, yeah.
And before they will release their loved one.
What was your thought process, you personally, about organ donations? Because you said, that coming out of the minority community, that it was, in some cases, the numbers obviously were very low, 18% or so in the African-American community. Personally, what was your thought before you got your diagnosis about organ transplants?
I've been it's been on my license since I was 16.
Okay, so you were all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for organ transplant. My children are donors. My family members have their star on their card to be a donor. And I feel that all African Americans, you hear people say, oh, I'm going to take everything God gave me with me. How selfish of you. God healed people. He made us in his image. So that means our organs can heal other people. But people, I feel, are selfish or don't know the history of organ donations for minorities. Minorities are the ones who need the most donations, the most donors, because we're talking liver, kidney, high blood pressure, all those things for African Americans may make them in the future need a transplant. So we are the ones that need don't get me wrong, you can get your transplant from any minority. But as well, common sense tells you, as well as the doctors tell you, mine was better coming from an African American or another minority because of the genetics. The healing process is easier because I am African American. So I don't heal as easy giving my organs from a Caucasian or someone other than my nationality or minority.
All right. So we're told that you're going to have a lung transplant, and you're on the waiting list for how long again?
From 2011 until 2020.
All right.
I received my transplant right in the middle of COVID. That shows you how good God is.
Great timing there.
It was right in the middle of COVID when everybody was losing their life. I'm thinking, I'm getting ready to get a transplant and everybody's dying around me. And so it was like I felt hurt because people were dying and I'm going to be given life in the midst of millions of people dying. I'm getting life. So I feel that, like I said before, everything happens for a person. When I got my transplant, it was the most wonderful thing in the world because I feel like I had so much more to do, so many people to talk to. And I feel that my purpose and value after receiving my transplant is to educate minorities on transplant. I've learned so much. And me being as sick as I was on my deathbed, 7 liters of oxygen. The oxygen was keeping my organs going. That's it. It was just keeping my organs going. I needed a transplant immediately. And so I had to wait. But in the waiting period, your people around you, I feel like my team, my family around me, like CORE, Center for Organ Recovery, they were with me the whole time. If it wasn't for them and me meeting them at the Multicultural Festival, I would have not known anything about CORE. So when I became a part after I had my transplant, and they followed me through my transplant, came to visit me. I had to live in Pittsburgh from July until November. And it's the family that you have around you is how you get knowledge of things that will help you or things that will help you progress, especially when it comes to a transplant. It's such a devastating surgery to have because you don't know if you're going to come out of there or not. You don't know if those lungs have to be trimmed down to fit your chest. I'm a female. If I didn't get female lungs, and today I don't know who my donor is or whether they were male or female or even how old they were. All I know is my donor was an opioid addict. But you know what? That opioid addict was my hero. I don't care what people say about people who are on drugs. That's a mental thing. But don't look at them differently when it comes to organ transplants, because their sickness is what I call it. They can't help it. But you know what? God still made them able to be heroes. And I feel that everyone should be a donor, because you don't think about it. What if you've got a family member that needs a kidney? Are you going to say, no, I'm going to take it with you? If my family member would have told me and they were on their deathbed that I couldn't have their lungs, I'd have took it from them. But my family supported me. I tell you, having COPD, which is an aggressive, mean disease, for God to give you life and put a team together at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, and he picked me a hero. How can you not be an organ donor, whether you're a minority or Caucasian or no matter what nationality you are? But African Americans, we have to start saving each other. We have to start being organ donors. Like I said, I don't know if my organ donor was African American or not. I've got a letter out. I'm hoping they want to meet me because I want to meet them. I'm carrying their DNA. I need to meet them because now they are part of me as well as their loved one who gave me life. So what I say to everyone, every living soul, God went around healing people. He gave people life a second time. He gave me life a second time. If you don't think you're worthy of being a... Excuse me, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It happens.
If you don't think you're worthy of being an organ donor or you're afraid, get the knowledge. It's out there. We have Al now. Al will tell you everything. Al will tell you whatever question you ask, Al.
You're talking about AI, right?
Yeah, AI. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. It's all good.
Yeah, I call Al Chat.
That's all right. You call whatever you want.
Yeah,
baby.
AI will tell you everything. I've learned new things since I've had my transplant. African Americans, we have to get it together. Minorities, we have to get it together because we need to be saving each other. I read about a man named Chelsea. I think his name was Robert Chelsea. And he was the first African American who had a total face transplant. But you know what? He had difficulties too. Because the first skin they put on his face was too light. They didn't have an African American donor to put, because he was African American, to give him his face complexion back or give him his face back. But he finally, after several surgeries, and is still living and testifying as to what God did for him, he's still here. Wouldn't you want to be still here if somebody could save you?
And this is why, following the network show that we did last week, I said you got to come back.
Yes.
Because you need to talk to the people here in Charleston, and you need to talk to members. As you're the one, you brought it up on the show last week, especially among those in the minority community, and you got a strong voice. Those lungs, you may have new lungs, but you got the same voice. and it's a loud one, and I mean that in the best possible way.
It is a loud one. When I talk about organ transplant and I talk about core and I talk about people dying because other people are being selfish with what God gave them, they'd rather take it, die and keep it all with them. I have a family member. I'm taking everything God gave me with me. Why are you being selfish? What are you going to do with them? You're gone. Your spirit has left your body. All that's left is organs. Why take them with you when you can save somebody's life? That my donor, I can't wait to find out his name or her name because I'm tired of calling them my donor. My family is what I call them because their loved one gave me life. God picked their loved one for me because life was not good enough for them here on earth. Drugs had got them. The streets had got them. But God knew I would take care of this person. This person is a hero to me for life. He should be a hero to his family. He should be a hero to anyone that has a transplant because he saved not only me, he gave somebody sight. He or she. God gave somebody sight. So if your body is made in the image of God and we're made to heal each other, why are we so selfish with it? Why do we think that, they're going to do this test when we're dead and they're going to... It's not like that. I can't wait to see a procurement when they go in and take the lungs out or the kidney and things like that. I want to be able to tell you from knowledge of seeing it, of how it is. People, please be organ donors. It's nothing wrong with it. God doesn't deny it. It's not a sin because he wants you to take on your neighbor's burdens. What better way than to give them organs from your body that he gave you to share? Why take them to your grave? They're going to die. Why not give someone else life? I get emotional when I talk about organ transplants simply because people do not have to die because their kidneys went bad. People do not have to die because their lungs went bad. Anything that can be transplanted out of your body into someone else to give them life because you're leaving here is the best gift you can give to anyone.
Vicky, we got to leave it there. Loved having you back on this show. What's the best way what do people need to do? I mean, CORE is a wonderful organization. You can Google it. Yes. You can contact. I know you're on social media. Yes. You're probably not hard to find. You're one of the most recognizable people in Charleston. Yes. Anyway, everybody knows Vicky. Just make it happen. Make it happen.
I'm not supposed to be here, and I am, because not only God, but the young person who gave me life, I will honor them the rest of my life, because God gave me. I had value and purpose, and this is what he had in store for me, because he knows how passionate I am about people.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
We got to take a break. It's 9:24. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just built us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Ready to finance your next ride or refinance your current one? Right now, during MCWV FCU's limited time auto loan special, you can get rates as low as 4.75% APR with terms up to 66 months. That's right, rates as low as 4.75% APR with terms up to 66 months on new and used autos and for financing or refinancing. Apply today at memberschoicewv.com. Loans are subject to credit approval. Additional restrictions may apply.
My hospital stay would have cost $25,000, but with VA healthcare, it's free.
My education would have cost $42,000, but with VA benefits, my books, tuition, and housing are all covered.
The down payment for my home would have been $74,000, but with my VA home loan, my down payment was $0. My service was then. My benefits are now. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
9:26, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Huston's Pizza. Get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a large tossed salad, $21.99. Eat in, pick up, or get delivery by going to HustonsPizza.com. This coming Saturday is Drug Take Back Day across the state of West Virginia. We're going to talk to some folks from the Charleston Police Department about that. Evan Osborn is here, a good friend from Capital Market. You got to follow up Miss Vicky.
It's not possible.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
Yeah.
You're going to come in and tell us about the wonderful things at Capital Market, and you folks are fantastic. But you got to follow Vicky.
I know.
So, good luck.
I'm not even going to try.
Let's just switch the subject. Is she a phenomenal lady or what?
Absolutely.
I mean, when I had her on the network show with Amanda and I last week, I said, you got to come back. I said, you got to come back. And that show's carried obviously here too. But I said, I want you to come back and I want you to talk to the people of Charleston because she's so well known. She was involved in Multifest and she, worked at various things that she's done in the past. And I said, no, you need to talk. You need to talk to people.
And I mean, CORE's just a fantastic organization.
It is. We've spent the month of April because it's National Organ Donation Month, and every week we've told a different story on the afternoon show of somebody. But man, when they said, and I thank Jim Strawn for that. I think they said when we're sending Miss Vicky in, I wasn't ready for Hurricane Vicky when she came rolling through here last week. As I said, she had me and I'm already an organ donor. She had me ready. Said, "You want something? You want a kidney? You want what do you want? You want anything right now? Just take it right now on the way out. We'll do it in the parking lot." So. What you got going on, buddy, over at the market?
Well, it's springtime, and that means flowers. This is this is that week every year where we really the transformation in the outdoor market is popping and colorful, and we start to not even slowly anymore. We just hop right back to it, and it's I love it for a number of reasons. Coming out of winter and the doldrums and just shaking off the cold. It's really nice, and
it was a hellacious winter too.
Yeah, our gas bill at the market directly reflects that. Man, it was brutal, and now it's not. We've got all of our outdoor greenhouse growers moved in. We're getting the first signs of produce. All of the ferns are, half of the market looks like Jurassic Park out there, and it gives us an energy that as we come back into spring now through the end of the year is just 90 miles an hour and then chucking the steering wheel out the window. So it's once we get going and get humming and begin to really welcome all of our neighbors and community folks back that we haven't seen all winter. It's great. Love it. It's just tremendously lucky to be able to get to do this, bring it to Charleston. And it's a great time.
It is indeed. We're talking to Evan Osborn from Capital Market. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their lead paint inspection and risk assessment services are designed to identify and to assess the presence of lead-based paint in buildings and other structures using a three-phase approach of inspection, sampling, and lab analysis, and an assessment report. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Big event coming up this weekend. Talk about it.
Yeah, tomorrow. Again, we're able to do what we do. The Capital Market operates as a nonprofit. And in doing so, we host fundraisers, one a season. And this Friday is our springtime kickoff, Flowers After Hours, starts at 6 p.m. We're tremendously fortunate this year to welcome some great local entertainment. Dowcord, we're bringing in Coco's Kitchen and Cafe to provide the food. And the incomparable Ted Armbrecht from the wine shop at Capital Market will be joining us.
It's a big event for you guys every year.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really is.
It's honestly, we time it perfectly. It's so colorful, so vibrant. If you want to come, enjoy some great music, great food, and just you cannot help but put a smile on your face being out there for that evening. We in turn take the proceeds from that and turn it into our food access programs, improving ADA accessibility at the market, all of the things that we don't necessarily accomplish through bringing vendors in. Mm-hmm. It allows us to really sort of expand that umbrella. One of the things that I think is important about the market is that we're open and accessible to anyone that wants to utilize it. And that could be someone that needs to come get produce to feed their family. It could be someone that's, looking for the perfect ribeye and a really high-end bottle of wine to go along with it. And that's where we kind of bring everyone together through that.
It's, and I say this every time that you're on the show, Evan, and people, I think, forget sometimes that Capital Market is a nonprofit venture. But anytime that anybody comes in from out of town, and my wife told me this with her company, that they would have people come in from all over the country, and I got time in the evening, what do I need to do? Capital Market.
I think it's very important.
It's number one, Capital Market.
Not only are we home to the visitor center for the Charleston CVB, but we're going to strive to set the tone and experience for people's first impression of Charleston, and we don't take that lightly. I think we want everyone that has the opportunity to visit to really be not only impressed by what it is that we're doing at the market, but come back leaving that these were amongst the friendliest and helpful people that we've encountered in a long time. And when you have the opportunity to work with our farmers and producers, these guys are experts. If you have a question, come down and see them. They love to, they have a whole lot of knowledge, and they're more than happy to share it. And I think that's one of the most looked over assets that we have at the market is the strength of our producers. Seldom these days do you have the opportunity to interact with the person directly that not only grew your fern or your tomato, but can tell you how to best care for these things.
And this is so much in the news over the last couple of years. And I'm not going to go political on this, but it is so much in the news because people have been this whole farm to table thing. It's even in schools, they're doing it now where people, you go to some places and you don't necessarily know where those flowers came from. More importantly, when it comes to your body, you don't know where that produce came from. You talk to these people that are at Capital Market, ask them, where was this grown? When did you harvest this? What kind of truck did you drive to get it here? I mean, you can ask any question to these people. You can't do that when you go to certain stores.
Yep. It's unique. And it's not just, it's not unique because it's West Virginia. My family hates it. Anytime we travel, we have to go to visit the market wherever we're going.
Yeah, that's what you do.
And, we strive to be the very best at all of that. It's constantly evolving. It's work in progress. A lot of our farmers are starting to get older, and we're looking to the future, like what's going to be the next phase, who's the next generation. So we're working towards some programs on really how do we incentivize not only folks to get into the agriculture business, but what are we doing to help support those efforts?
All right, so give us the details again about tomorrow night.
Absolutely. You can find all the details for Flowers After Hours. Starts at 6 p.m. We're going to be in the outdoor market. Check out capitalmarket.net. You can check out all of our social media pages where you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Shoot me a message directly. We'd love to see you. Again, we only are able to do what we do thanks to the support of the community. Can I get one more plug in?
You can do whatever you want, man.
Because my dance partner, I don't know if you've heard about this.
Okay. How could you not know about this? About what you and
Dave, I don't take anything.
You and Morgan are doing.
Yeah. I just want to get a plug in for Team 6.
Okay. We're Dancing with the Stars.
We're a week from tomorrow. We are down to the wire. And I didn't know this about Morgan. She's the most competitive person I've ever met.
Well, she's from Logan. What do you think? I thought you knew. That's the way we are down that way.
And we want to desperately bring home the mirror ball.
Right. And you got some tough competition, but you guys have taken a unique approach. And I urge you to follow these folks on social media, because tell the people who haven't seen you what these. I don't know if they're characters or they're your real life personalities that you and Morgan Morrison have come up with. Talk about that.
You know what? Morgan is the creative director in this endeavor, and I'm just here to help fulfill her vision. And it's the most fun I never want to have again.
You like your chances?
Feeling pretty good.
All right. Well,
cautiously optimistic. But again, we'll take any support we can get.
All right. And how do people support your team in Dancing with the Stars?
Text us directly. Go to United Way of Central West Virginia's page. You can find the link. I believe it's sold out, the actual event itself.
But you still support it, though. Yep. I mean, yeah, obviously, with donations.
But Team 6.
Quick text here says, great segment with Evan. Capital Market is the best. Tell him I said hi. That came to me personally from Mark Curtis.
Oh, Mr. Curtis. I appreciate it.
He's back in town.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Florida Man.
Florida Man is back in town. The WVBA Awards, West Virginia Broadcasters Association Awards ceremony is Saturday night, and Marky Mark is back in town for that to see if he can take home. He's retired.
Bringing home some hardware.
Bringing home some hardware back to Florida, but he's back in town.
I hope he gets that and we get the Mirror Ball.
And he sent that would be a great night for all of us, wouldn't
Absolutely.
it? A great weekend. Yeah, our event is Saturday night, so if you see us coming in here, with trophies, then you'll know why. Hey, quick plug-in for the other station that I'm on here, and that's 98.7 The Mountain, Wild and Wonderful Classic Rock. We're Animal and Shockley and Amy and Jeff and Hollywood Jeff. We're hoping to take home some hardware for the almost 2-year-old classic rock station. Believe it or not, it's been 2 years since we put the Mountain on the air, and all of our stations are up for awards. So we're looking forward to Saturday night.
Last time I tuned in, I realized that classic rock isn't what I used to think.
Well,
I'm getting older.
Well, things change, and retro. You don't want to hear this, and the listeners have heard me say this. Retro is now 2005. That's what retro is now.
Yep.
So yeah, enjoy some wine over at Capital Market when you think about that tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Evan, we got to go. I appreciate you being here. But Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Bridge Valley, offering custom tailored trainings to supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
For half a century, Ohio farmers have relied on glyphosate for higher yields and lower input costs. The Modern Ag Alliance is fighting to keep it that way. Learn more at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Ohio farmers.
The Hussons April Special is a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a large tossed salad for just $21.99. Visit your nearest Hussons for dine-in, pickup, or delivery. Order now at HussonsPizza.com.
The free Metro News TV app is the place to watch The Voice of West Virginia. See Talkline with Dave and TJ, Sportsline with Tony Caridi, Free Guys before the game, and coming soon the morning news, Metro News Middays, and Hotline with Dave Weekly right on your smart TV or streaming device. Get the Metro News Television app from the Apple App Store or Google Marketplace. Metro News Television is powered by the University of Charleston, the West Virginia Department of Tourism, Dan Cabot Toyota, the WVHTC Foundation, and WVU Medicine.
Poca Valley Bank has a new name. We are now simply Poca Valley, and here is why we're changing. Our place in the community goes beyond banking. While we still provide the finest in banking services, we also bring excellence in wealth management and financial planning, accounting, and bookkeeping services. Whether you're planning for the future or managing today, we offer the expertise you need. With 8 convenient locations, we're here to help you thrive. Discover the difference at Poca Valley. Relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Shelley Moore Capito said she was proud to vote against protecting funding for Medicaid, essentially calling it a political stunt. Over 500,000 West Virginians are on Medicaid. That's no stunt. It's insulin, nursing home care, and cancer treatment, and the backbone of our rural hospitals. When a senator's proud to vote against protecting our health care, it's clear who they're really working for, and it's not us. Call Senator Capito to let her know West Virginia needs Medicaid. Paid for by West Virginia Citizen Action Group.
Yeah, 19 minutes away from 10. Bigley, Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. Vaccines are your best protection against severe disease from flu and COVID-19. If you're 65 or older, risk less, do more with this season's vaccines. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Snap Fitness. Snap has a wide selection of equipment, including free weights, cardio, machine weights, and more. 5 convenient locations: Charleston, Hurricane, Winfield, Barbersville, and Milton. Visit snapfitness.com for more details. Drug Take Back Day this Saturday across the state of West Virginia. Chance for people to get rid of the drugs they no longer need. just sitting around the medicine cabinet or whatever. Sergeant Travis Bales is from the Public Services Division of the Charleston Police Department. He joins us this morning in the Jarrett Construction Studios. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the whole idea behind this. It's how long? I mean, I know you're not the answer for all of this, but Drug Take Back Day has been going on for like 10 years now, 15 years.
I believe this is the 27th or 28th.
Oh, okay, a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah. I know over that time, DA's collected a substantial amount.
Let me have you turn that microphone towards you just a little bit there. Go ahead.
Better now? Okay. Just across the state of West Virginia, I know the last time we collected over 2 tons at the last
2 tons.
Over 2 tons, yeah.
Now, what's the idea behind this? I mean, why is this important?
Well, one, you want to keep these unused or unwanted medications out of the wrong hands. But secondly, studies have shown that prescription medications are in trace amounts in our water supply. So you don't want to throw them away. You don't want to flush them down the toilet.
That's probably the most common thing that people have said. It's like, well, I don't need the pills anymore. I don't need it. I just flush it down the toilet. That's not what you're supposed to do.
And no, that's not what you're supposed to do at all, because it will wind up in the water supply, which ultimately can end up, even though it's trace amounts, it can affect the environment. It can contaminate small animals, things of that nature.
And you're set up all over Charleston, right?
All over the city. We're going to have locations at the Piggly Wiggly in Canal City, Ashton Place Kroger, Walgreens on Washington Street West on the west side, the Drug Emporium over by Patrick Street Plaza, and the West Virginia Drug Intervention Institute on Capitol Street, and lastly, Fruth Pharmacy on Oakwood Road.
Okay, and I do want to mention, of course, you're with the Charleston Police Department, but the Kanawha County Sheriff's Department also taking part in this, and they'll have drop locations at their various other detachments throughout Kanawha County. So, bottom line is, there should be one pretty close to everybody.
Oh yes, yes, and we have a year-round drug box at our records division downtown at City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't make it, you can always bring some by there.
What's the most common story, I guess, that you hear? I mean, somebody gets a prescription for something, they get a tooth pulled or whatever, and they some people just don't like to take the stuff, or maybe somebody tragically passes away and they've got this medicine. I mean, I guess that's the most common stories that you get.
Yes, yeah. There's oftentimes people bring in medication that was left over from a loved one that had passed on, or like you said, they'll have some sort of procedure. They don't want to take the pain medicine and they want to get rid of it safely. Because that stuff can cause an issue.
And so what if I've got the stuff and I show up at one of these locations, what's the process here?
You just hand it over to us. There's no questions asked.
Do they need to take the labels off or anything like that, or
That's up to them. If they don't want to, everything that you give us is going to be incinerated. So there's no need to worry about identity theft or anything like that.
But Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Big happenings over at the ballpark this weekend. Mountaineer Dirty Day with the Mountaineer Little League and softball teams Saturday at Go-Mart Ballpark. Play starts at 9 in the morning. Will continue throughout the day. Admission is free, but donations for the Mountaineer Little League will be accepted. Need more info, visit the Dirty Birds or Mountaineer Little League Facebook pages. Travis Bales is here from the Charleston Police Department Drug Take Back Day. And so you've got these prescriptions. You don't want them anymore. You bring them back and talk about the process of how you get rid of them there. What's that like?
Just come to any one of the collection sites we'll have throughout the city. At some of them, you won't even need to get out of your car. We can come up and take them from you. We will collect them at the end of the day. We'll put them all together and ship them off to the incinerator.
And you said how many tons last year?
The last one in October of 24, over the state, there was over 2 tons collected back.
Wow. It's amazing because I guess, the world of medications has, you think in one instance that it's changed a whole lot, Sergeant, but then you think, well, maybe it hasn't. And if you get these things off the street, because tragically in your line of work, you're a police officer, you know that there's also been stories over the years where people get pain medication. We're talking about, somebody passes away, or we're talking about somebody that just doesn't need him anymore. But we all know the story. Somebody gets a tooth pulled, they have back surgery, whatever.
Yes.
And I don't need these, so I'm gonna sell them. And that's one less pill that'll be out on the street.
That's correct. And even selling your own prescription medication, if it's a controlled substance, that's a felony offense in West Virginia. So we want to help prevent that as well. We also don't want those medications to, say, fall into the hands of a child that might be in the house. That could cause a really serious issue.
Yeah. All right. So give us the locations, whatnot again.
We're going to be at the Piggly Wiggly in Canal City on McCorkle Avenue, Ashton Place Kroger on Fletter John Road, Walgreens on Washington Street West on the west side, Drug Emporium on near Patrick Street Plaza, the West Virginia Drug Intervention Institute on Capitol Street, and lastly, Fruth Pharmacy on Oakwood Road.
All right. Sergeant, I appreciate you being here. Best of luck with your event.
Thanks, sir.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back right after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. I'm born and raised right here in West Virginia. I've got 3 daughters, so I absolutely care who comes into my home. Every technician we send to your home has been drug tested and background checked. I guarantee the best client experience or your money back. We have the best team and the best processes built around a 5-star experience. Call Best Virginia today at 681-655-1214.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I am often asked, what is the value of my case? The answer, of course, depends on your injuries, liability, and the damages to you financially. And it also very much depends on the law firm you hire to represent you. All firms are not the same. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been here at your time of need. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
Welcome back to the show. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine, tackling pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, and more. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles and beyond West Virginia. Great resource. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, into the podcast menu, and start your journey towards better health today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. Text says, Dear Dave, what a moving show segment. This was on the organ donations. Super touching and inspiring. Now, can we pick up where we left off yesterday afternoon about how the boomers have ruined this country and the Gen X millennials are trying to fix it? I'll make popcorn, says a texter. Maybe we'll do that on the afternoon show. I got into that a little bit. Yeah, we get into all kinds of things on the afternoon show. Little programming note here. The Reds are off tonight. So tonight we are presenting a special installment of Let's Talk with Carl Lee, with former NFL great Carl. We'll be joined as always by Lisa Odie and Delegate Hollis Lewis. Tonight they're going to be joined by the legendary Alexis Hornbuckle. From high school titles to NCAA and WNBA championships, we're going to tell you how a winning mindset leads to success both on and off the court. We'll also tackle the future of the WNBA, equal pay, and why mental toughness matters more than ever. Don't miss it. Let's Talk with Carl Lee tonight just after 7 here on WCHS. So Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. More than $20 billion recovered. They believe that when you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Text says, I still associate oldies music with the 50s and 60s, some of the greatest in my opinion, and classic rock with the southern rock sounds of the 1970s. Amen, texter. The 80s will never be oldies or classic rock. Getting old sucks. Well, yeah, I get you, but it is 2005. That's officially retro right now, 2005. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, coming at you at noon today on this and other Metro News stations. Amanda Barron, 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda and myself. Coming up on the show today, Delegate Sean Fluharty from Democrat out of District 5 is on the show. You've been hearing about that plane crash in Mason County last night. Dave Miller has been covering it for WMOV Radio. He'll join us to discuss that. We'll have Christy Skidmore from the American Federation of Teachers on the show today. Tonight is night one of the NFL Draft, and we're going to have a little fun with it this afternoon by talking with a couple of Mountaineer legends who know what it's like to wait for that phone call. Brian Joswiak will join us, as well as Avon Coburn. And, of course, we do Open Line West Virginia. Your chance to weigh in on any subject of the news or anything on your mind. Metro News Midday 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron, powered by Salango Law, coming up at noon today. On this show tomorrow, it's Friday, meeting Angie Gillenwater from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association is here with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Remember Pat Simon? He's been on the show in the past, former 13 News anchor. He's now a literary agent. And he has a couple of authors he's working with that you need to be reading. We're going to talk to him about that. Plus, Dr. Casey Sachs from Bridge Valley will stop by. That is all coming up on tomorrow's show. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Rentals and Leasing, offering stress-free property management for both renters and property owners. Visit meeksrentals.com. Morgan Pemberton with a story this morning, WVMetroNews.com, of a high-profile murder case and sentencing. Marcus Guy of Charleston found guilty of second-degree murder for the death of Alicia Brooke Carnifex and Coda Bryson Jarrett at their home in St. Albans, February 2024. He was sentenced yesterday by Judge Mary Claire Akers to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 15 years for the first-degree murder of Jarrett, which was approved by Judge Akers the murder wasn't approved by Judge Akers. The sentencing, I guess, was approved, I should say, after the trial jury granted him mercy following his trial, and he was sentenced to 40 years for the second-degree murder of Carnifex. He was also sentenced to no more than 10 in prison for the use of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Before the sentencing, he did apologize to the family in court. He'll be eligible for parole in 27 years. Again, Morgan Pemberton has the story posted at WVMetroNews.com. Reminder for you that if you're worried about paying for college, Metro News is proud to present the 18th annual West Virginia Scholar Program. One high school junior in the state is going to get a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan, including room, board, tuition, and fees. Details available at WVMetroNews.com. Click the Apply Now button. The deadline, though, is this Sunday. It is presented by the West Virginia Hospital Association of Friends of Cole. Go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. Again, the deadline is April the 27th, which is this Sunday. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. If you want some interesting reading, I want you to read my good friend and frequent tag team partner, TJ Meadows' commentary he did about Pete Hegseth and how much is too much for President Trump. The piece is really good. That's all of TJ's stuff is. I'm not just saying that because he's sitting across the room from me right now. This one, though, is exceptionally good, mainly because of the comments it got when it was shared to social media, particularly Facebook. Because Mr. Meadows dared, and this is commentary from me now, dared to do something that appeared like he was questioning the Trump administration on anything, which is a absolute no-no in West Virginia. Apparently, Metro News, let me give you a couple of quotes here. Apparently, Metro News hates everything Trump. Metro News is going to lose their sports audience the same way many have moved away from their news. Metro News would fit right in with 1939 Germany. Leftist BS. Why is Metro News now mimicking MSNBC? If you love half-truths, you'll love this commentary. What a crock of blank emoji there, etc., etc. Why are you the way you are, TJ?
Honestly, I was raised to be very patriotic. One of the people that was very formidable in my youth was my elementary and middle school principal. Her name was Georgie Price. She was from the Arvon family in Boone County. They were Greek immigrants. Her parents came here to this country with nothing and built a life for their family, she and her brothers and sisters. Part of that was understanding that in a republic, we have the duty to question our leaders. We should do it. We have to do it. If we don't do it, the system doesn't work. And what Mr. Hegseth did, right or wrong, putting operational information into Signal, and I understand that Signal is an improved app, but there are still safeguards in place, procedures in place in terms of what kind of information should go in there. I think that raises a question as to whether or not his judgment rises to a standard that is appropriate for him to be the Secretary of Defense. Happened once. Did it again. Does his wife really need that kind of information? Does his brother, who, yes, works at the Pentagon, but questions, are still being determined, I guess, are being asked and answers are being determined around what level of information that brother needs to do his job? Personal lawyers in the same boat? I don't see that as leftist to question our leaders. And frankly,
whoa.
If it were a Republican, I'd be asking the same question.
But you're in West Virginia. Thou shalt not. If Reagan had the 11th commandment, the 12th is thou shalt not Trump, or thou shalt not question President Trump in West Virginia.
Well, I've never been a yes man.
On anything. And if you have any doubt that that's not true, look at our Republicans around the state of West Virginia right now. Now, some are, I will say, there have been some comments from Riley Moore, Senator Justice, Senator Capito, about NIOSH and things of that nature. But otherwise, you don't question Donald Trump in West Virginia, son.
I disagree. And I don't think I did it disrespectfully.
You did not at all.
People can read the piece. I never referred to anybody. I never name called.
No.
Referred to anybody in a derogatory manner. Look, man, we have to ask questions in this country as citizens of this country. And if we don't ask questions, we will find ourselves collectively in a place that we don't want to be.
I agree, and I said this on the afternoon show yesterday. If for no other reason, I think Hegseth needs to go because of a lack of judgment.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't matter to me what his party is or whatever, and I don't know the guy personally. I don't have any issues with him.
I don't either.
But that's where it's a lack of judgment and good judgment that would lead me to want to distance himself if I were Donald Trump or Pete Hegseth. It's a lack of judgment. Not so much what he did. He made the same mistake twice, apparently. You got to move on, in my opinion, because it just becomes a distraction. And people on the show yesterday was saying, well, the fake news is making more out of this than what it is, and so on and so forth. It's a distraction. And Trump thrives on distractions. We all know that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they say he does and says outrageous things just to distract. He doesn't really mean it necessarily. He just says it just to cause a buzz. I think you got to move on, in my opinion. Give me 30 seconds.
And I appreciate that people disagree with me. I'm not looking for people to say yes, yes, yes. It sparks debate. And I can't learn from people who always agree with me. I can learn from people who disagree with me. I think some of those disagreements were less than founded.
Okay.
I'd like to know more.
Quick text here. The civilian people who are copied on those texts may also be in danger as they are privy to national security information.
There you go.
There you go. All right, TJ and Mr. Wilson coming up with Metro News Talk Line at 10:06. I will be back with Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, with 13 News, and tonight live anchor Amanda Barrett coming up at noon today. See you tomorrow. Till then, or actually see you later today. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS-AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.